As we begin lesson 3.9, you're going to see that we're adding another layer on your ability to describe another human being. As we started Unit 3, we started, first of all, dealing with a person's physical description. So to give you an example, I'll describe myself. Je suis grand, je suis quand même un peu gros, je ne suis pas très fort, je suis vieux, j'ai 62 ans, j'ai des cheveux gris, j'ai les cheveux gris, j'ai les yeux bleus, et puis quoi d'autre? Je ne suis pas très beau, mais je ne pense pas que je sois laid au moins. Then we talked about emotions, how a person feels. So actuellement, je suis détendu, je suis dans mon bureau, je suis à l'aise, je suis heureux parce que j'aime bien le travail que je fais, je m'intéresse à ce que je fais et je suis chez moi, donc je suis détendu, je ne suis pas fâché, etc. And then we moved into clothing and colors. And so, for example, actuellement, je porte un pull noir, gris et blanc. Je porte un survêtement, un pantalon gris. Je porte des chaussettes blanches, des chaussettes de sport. Je porte aussi des verres de contact ou des lentilles de contact, ainsi qu'une alliance dorée. Voilà. And now in 3.9, we're moving into describing a person's health or current physical condition. And something I want to point out is, before I set you loose on studying 3.9, is there are two issues. The first is a large overall concept that we need to always bear in mind, is that we never want to engage in direct translation from the language we're learning to our native language. Languages don't line up word for word in a one-for-one correspondence, word for word. You already should have a good sense of this, but I'll give you a few examples here of how awkward it would be if we thought in terms of what does this word mean in my language, what does this word mean in my language. The expression, after someone says to you, merci beaucoup, you can say, il n'y a pas de quoi. Well, if you broke those words down individually, it would be something along the lines of, there is not of which. I suppose the sense is there's nothing about which to thank me, but there is not of which is pretty awkward for your welcome, isn't it? This is an expression you don't know, but je m'en moque. It means I mock myself about it. What it really means, the sense of it, it's the message it conveys is I couldn't care less. Je m'en moque. Or tu rigoles? Tu rigoles toi? Tu rigoles means you laugh or you giggle. In a question form, you laugh, you giggle, but really conveys, are you kidding? And so you see, you want to think in terms of the message conveyed, not breaking words down into a one-to-one correspondence with your native language and translating them. And so in this particular unit, over and over again, you're going to find what, if you were to translate it, is going to seem rather to be a strange expression. For example, j'ai faim. Je veux manger quelque chose, j'ai faim. J'ai faim communicates the notion of I'm hungry. Well, if you were to break it down, it would be not I'm hungry, but I have hunger. You find several of the expressions in this unit will not use the verb to be like we do in English, like I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm tired. Well, I'm tired works out, but I'm hot or I'm cold. But you're going to say I have hunger, I have thirst, etc. The key is, again, don't think in terms of the meaning of these words individually and translated to your native language, but think what is the impact that this expression has on your hearer. And one way to really get this idea of the message you're conveying by the series of words you're saying is to do the gestures along with me when I ask you to. For example, to communicate the idea that I'm thirsty, it'd be j'ai soif, de l'eau s'il vous plaît, j'ai soif. I know if you do the gesture, j'ai soif. And as you'll see the examples I'll give farther along in the video within the lesson itself, you'll see that you're conveying this notion of lacking water and needing water. So make sure you do the gestures. That's all I want to say. One more thing I want to point out, and that is there's one expression which deserves a little bit of attention right now, and that's the expression to have something in some part of your body, and we've studied parts of the body in great detail, have we not? A part of your body that hurts you. Now, at my age, everything hurts, but at your age, most likely, it could be a headache, or it could be a stomach ache. So let's just talk about a headache as an example. In French, if you want to get across the idea that I've got a headache, you say, "Ay, j'ai mal à la tête." J'ai mal à la tête. Now, I have, seems to line up with English quite well, but j'ai mal, if you were to break down mal is the word bad, evil, as an adverb, it's poorly. And so I have bad, or I have hurt, maybe, à la tête, at the head. If you were to break it down into individual parts, that's not going to sound very smooth in English whatsoever. So don't think in English. Just get across the message, j'ai mal, and then name the part of the body that's hurting you. Now, what I wanted to point out in this is that you're going to hear a, la. So j'ai mal, ay, j'ai mal, j'ai mal, j'ai mal, a, which has a sense of at, more or less, or in this region, in this location, a, and then you'll hear the definite article, le, la, l'apostrophe, or les, that precedes the part of the body you're talking about. For example, tête. Is it le tête? Is it la tête? Yeah, it's la tête. Nez. Is it le nez? La nez? Yeah, it's le nez. This is a little easier one. Oreille. Oreille. Well, I say l'oreille, le oreille, la oreille, or something else. For both of them. Yeah, for both of them, you'll say les oreilles, but actually it's pronounced les oreilles, because oreille starts with a vowel sound, and the S at the end of les is carried over in a liaison. Les oreilles. Don't worry about the liaison business. The key is you already learned this is les oreilles, okay? Now, if I want to say my ears hurt, I would say j'ai mal à, and then les oreilles, right? No, because a and les cannot be said as two distinct words. They form one word, which is o. O. Spelled, by the way, A-U-X, but the spelling for the moment isn't important. It's o. J'ai mal aux oreilles. Now you hear the z, that's that X, which becomes pronounced before a vowel sound. Another example, a better example, which where you don't have any hidden consonants that are going to be pronounced. Let's take my arm hurts. J'ai mal à, and then what's the word for arm? With the definite article, the word the? Le bras, that's right. Well, a and le are not said distinctly as two separate words, but rather they form the word au. So you say j'ai mal au bras. Okay, so j'ai mal à la tête, a and la are said as two separate words, but a and le are not. They're said as au. So j'ai mal à la tête, mais j'ai mal au bras. And the same way, a and les, the plural way for the, are said as one single word, the word au. So let's take St. Melchor's plural. To my teeth, les dents. J'ai mal, I don't say a les, I say au. J'ai mal aux dents. J'ai mal aux dents. A and L apostrophe, by the way, will be said also distinctly. J'ai mal à l'épaule. My shoulder hurts. J'ai mal à l'épaule. Okay. Well, at this point, time to get into it. Go into lesson. You're going to continue with the instructions below this video, and then you'll be entering into lesson 3.9. On se voit bientôt. Au revoir.